Eleanor, the concept of God's eternity has haunted me my entire life. Every time I think about it, literally my stomach will knot. And I go back to what the medieval philosopher Boethius said. I want you to tell me what he said, and then I really want to ask you what each of the concepts mean, because it's so powerful.
Well, you can think about it like this. At the ultimate foundation of all reality, things get weird. That's what physics tells us. Things get weird. So you try to understand what the quantum physicists tell us about the ultimate foundation of all reality, and by the time they're done, you got the turtle going through both gates at the same time. You don't know what they're talking about. Okay. At the ultimate foundation of all metaphysical reality, things get very hard to understand too, because you're trying to deal with a mode of existence very different from that we have in ordinary things like tables and chairs. So it helps if you begin by going very carefully with the logic of the doctrines, just as physics goes very carefully with the mathematics, and then we try to figure out what all that means after that. So here's how we begin. Boethius, who codifies an old tradition that he did not invent, he codifies it like this. He says, eternity is the complete possession, all at once, of illimitable life. Now the first thing you can see is that this gives eternity a very technical definition. So we talk about eternal truths, but nothing that has no life counts as eternal on Boethius' definition. That is, complete possession all at once of illimitable life means that to count as eternal, you have to be living. Truths aren't living, numbers aren't living, these things are not eternal. So we have a technical definition. Got to start with that. So here's the first thing to notice. It's life that constitutes the heart of the definition of eternity. And then it's life which is illimitable. That is, it has no terminus, no limit on either side. No beginning, no ending. You could think that illimitable life was beginningless, endless everlastingness. But that's not what we have in eternity, and it's ruled out by the first part of the definition. Complete possession all at once. You don't have complete possession all at once of your life. Your life stretches out through time. When you were 2 years old, I bet you were really cute. But your 2-year-old self is gone. You don't possess it now. And I bet when you're an old man, you'll have elegant dignity. But you haven't got that now. That's not here yet. So you don't have complete possession of your life. Your life is had little bit by little bit. You lose the past, you haven't yet got the future. All you've got is the cut in the continuum of your life, which is now. That's not much. If you could have complete possession all at once of your life would have to be outside time. Nothing in time works like that. Outside time, if we get time out of the equation, here's what you can have. You can have a now so big, it endures always, forever. We don't even have words to say it quite right. It is, as it were, stretched out indefinitely, but it doesn't fall apart into past and future. It isn't a partless extension. It's all at once. It is one thing without part, unbreakable, doesn't fall apart into the parts of a continuum like the parts of time. That's what eternity is. It's an indefinitely persisting now without past or future, without parts. That's the logic of it. That's what it is.
So let me see how many different components that I've just heard. I'll probably leave some out, but we have, it has to be life, it has to be living, illimitable, no terminus on either end, all at once.
Which gives us timeless.
Which gives timeless, so that differentiates it from everlasting.
Correct.
To timeless. And then complete possession?
Yeah. And what this gives us, if we take complete possession and combine it with illimitable life, what it gives us is duration. It gives us timeless duration. Now you might think to yourself, oh, okay, this is where I get off the train, because duration means persistence through time, timeless persistence through time. We need that out of the equation.
It sounds incoherent.
Yeah, it sounds incoherent. That's just nuts, okay? So we're done. But that's not the idea at all. See, here's the idea of eternity. The whole idea of eternity is duration. What's enduring in time? What's enduring in time? Well, here's what's enduring in time. Nothing. Nothing. What you got in time is the present. You don't have the past, it's gone. You don't have the future, it isn't here yet. What you got is the present, and it's an instant, and it's gone. You get the sense of enduring the way Disney got cartoon films, by flicking the stills of now. That's what you got, see? But the idea of eternity was, what would happen if you could have real duration? What would real duration be? And the idea was, for real duration, you've got to have timelessness. That's persistence. That's real persistence. And it's a real duration, a real persistence of a sort that is imitated in time. But that's what we got.
Why is it the case that for God to be eternal, as you've defined it, is a higher perfection, and God is supposed to be perfect in many ways, a higher perfection than if God were everlasting in time?
Think about it this way. What does it take to make intimacy between people? Okay, I have a daughter, I love her to distraction. She was the cutest 2-year-old ever you saw. She'll be the most elegant, dignified old lady you ever saw. But guess what? I can't kiss that little child anymore. I can't admire the old lady. They're not here for me. I just get her a little bit at a time. That's kind of too bad. That's a limit. It's a limit. But God has always with him all her life. Her whole life is there for God. And he can relate to all of her life in his all-at-once duration. And that lets him be more intimate, more close to her than I can be. It's a greater, bigger, richer mode of existence than my own is. And that's why.